Mark Bishop Show. Truly like a box of chocolates. You never know who you're going to meet. From business, lifestyle, and fun. Here's Mark.
And welcome to another episode of the Mark Bishop Show. You know, the oncology care landscape is evolving rapidly. New treatments, technologies, and approaches emerging every year. And while these advancements are improving patient outcomes, they're also introducing new complexities, though, for healthcare providers, HCPs, navigating increasingly sophisticated care decisions. And according to findings from the Johnson & Johnson Oncology Care Index, nearly 3 in 4 providers say the pace of oncology innovation is overwhelming. They're underscoring the growing gap between rapid clinical progress and the realities of care delivery. So for this show, we're lucky to have APP Donna Catamero and emerging APP practitioner Becky Moran to discuss the evolving roles of APPs in oncology, the importance of preparing the next generation of oncology providers, and how initiatives like Make It Happen are helping support both providers and patients by providing helpful resources for this very impactful community. Welcome, ladies. Nice to have you.
And thank you for having us. We have both worked closely with Johnson & Johnson to be able to discuss the evolving cancer care landscape and the role of advanced practice providers.
Yeah, Donna, Rebecca, can you walk us through your roles as advanced practice providers and what supporting patients, look like day to day? What exactly happens?
So I'll jump in first. So I am a nurse practitioner. I hold an advanced nursing degree, so I'm able to treat and manage patients. I help support patients, and I manage side effects and coordinate patient care. As the treatment landscape becomes more complex, we now have targeted therapies, cellular therapies. I help guide our patients through that treatment journey. And we know that care teams that incorporate advanced practice providers, those patients do have better outcomes.
I'm a physician assistant. I primarily work in the hospital setting. I get to support our patients throughout their many phases of their cancer journey. I see some patients at diagnosis, get to sit with them, discuss what's going on, what the next steps look like, and provide them with emotional support. I see some of our patients when they have side effects or complications from their cancer itself or from treatments. So I get to tell them or educate them on what that means and what the next steps are and help manage their symptoms. And sometimes I just get to check in on our patients regardless of what they're admitted for. We spend a lot of time with our patients, so we usually develop a very strong relationship. So if I can provide them with any comfort during a hard time, I try to do that.
Donna, let me ask you this. How do you help patients understand their options, and make informed decisions amid rapid innovation in oncology?
Yeah, so I'm a very specialized nurse practitioner. So I specialize in one disease. So I focus on blood cancers, in particular multiple myeloma. So therefore, I need to stay informed that I can be that bridge for my patients between this rapidly evolving clinical data, which seems to come out by the hour, and translate into what does that mean for my patient. And as part of being a part of that multidisciplinary team, I help shape patient treatment strategies. And as nurse practitioner, I play a key role in helping patients understand their treatment options and making them feel comfortable with their decisions. Many patients feel more comfortable coming to myself as a nurse practitioner, to Rebecca as a physician assistant, asking us questions, when compared to other members of the healthcare team.
Well, it sounds like an awful lot. Rebecca, where would you say that the biggest gaps in support for patients or care partners are today?
Education, I believe, especially in the patient demographic that I serve. Cancer is a hard topic to wrap your head around, and I think it's important to educate patients that not all cancer is created the same and it's not all treated the same. So I often have patients tell me that they have a family member or a close friend that had a difficult time with their cancer journey. And that makes them hesitant even to want to try to work up their cancer or to discuss treatment options. And I try to sit with these patients, explain to them what we're doing, why we're doing it, and the potential outcomes, so they can make an educated decision based on their cancer journey and not someone else's. At the end of the day, we always respect their decision, but I want them to be able to make an educated decision.
All right. Well, advanced practice providers, APPs, including nurse practitioners and physician assistants, you play a critical role in bridging that gap by translating complex clinical information into clear, actionable guidance for patients and care patients. It's fair to say that their impact is significant, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, 92% of HCPs say multidisciplinary teams that include APPs improve patients' outcomes. And 61% of patients report feeling more comfortable asking APPs questions. See, service. Donna, what do you approach differently today compared to, let's say, earlier in your career?
Right, and I've been doing this for 20 plus years. So when I started caring for my patient population, multiple myeloma patients, I actually had very few treatment options that I could offer my patients. Now that treatment landscape is rapidly evolving. So what was once a terminal diagnosis is now becoming a chronic disease, similar to diabetes, et cetera. These are conditions we can now manage with long-term treatment. So innovation in care has greatly improved patient outcomes and, more importantly, quality of life. So my role is to close that gap between the pace of innovation and the realities of care delivery for my patients. So when we're seeing these novel therapies being approved, my job is to see, how can I make sure that the right treatment gets to the right patient?
Well, before we run out of time, I want to plug the Johnson & Johnson Advanced Practitioner Society for Hematology developed. What is the Make It Happen plan? What is this all about?
So the Make It Happen campaign was developed by Johnson & Johnson in partnership with APSHO, which is the Advanced Practitioner Society of Hematology and Oncology. They have a website at appsmakeithappen.com or appsmakeithappen.com. There's a variety of resources there, including a new to oncology education module for newer APPs and a lot of other information, not only for APPs, but for patients to learn about different types of cancers and easier to understand digestible pieces. Okay.
So anybody can go to that site and get a better understanding of this. Good read. It's a wonderful cause. appsmakeithappen.com. Rebecca, what advice do you have for newer APPs balancing clinical knowledge, with real-world patient care?
Lean into the learning curve. Ask questions. Be willing to learn. That's the biggest thing. Finding great mentors like Donna is also a great thing, and that's also why I ended up wanting to work with Johnson & Johnson on this campaign. I think if you're willing to learn, that's the biggest part of it.
Okay. And Donna, what role do education and mentorship play, do you feel, in preparing the next generation of oncology APPs?
So when I was a new nurse, I had some of the best mentors, and that helped shape me into the nurse I am today. So I feel like my job is to pay it forward. So I work very closely with newer APPs such as Rebecca, and I help them build their clinical judgment, how to navigate complex patient cases, and to grow their confidence so that this in turn, we can deliver high quality care. And being myself involved in cancer research, I also want to educate other providers on emerging data and how that changes the way we practice.
Great ideas. And closing, Rebecca, you're newer to oncology. So what challenges, do you face early on for yourself, and how are you building confidence in navigating cancer care?
Working in oncology is just a different world. Treatment options are changing quickly, which is great for patients and improves outcomes, but it can be challenging for newer APPs. So making sure that we're up to date on a continuing medical education, asking questions, not being afraid to ask questions, I feel like is the biggest thing. With every patient, I learn something new and I build more confidence.
Wonderful. Good luck with your career, okay?
Thank you so much.
Well, it was lovely to have you on the show. Keep up the good work, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, APP Donna Catamero and emerging APP practitioner Becky Moran on the show discussing an evolving role of APPs in oncology, very important, and the importance of preparing the next generation of oncology providers. Thank you, ladies. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you, too.
Join us again for another episode of The Mark Bishop Show. It's a production of Mark Bishop Media.